Hello, and welcome to the pilot episode of How Have You Never Seen This? I'm your host, Danielle Soto. My guests today are two wonderful friends. I'm so excited that they're on my new podcast. One is a very talented comedian. Another is just a genuine sweetheart all around. So please welcome Tom Young and Valerie Burton.
Hey.
Welcome. So why don't you tell me which movie you chose to be the very first episode of How Have You Never Seen This?
We decided to show you Jaws.
Okay, so I have never seen the movie Jaws. Why did you choose this film?
Because it's a great film to start off this. Like, how have you never seen this and you work at Universal? Like, this is so shocking to me.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Tom, why did you choose this film for me?
There were several others that I thought that I would show you first, probably like Star Wars or The Godfather, something of that nature. But the fact that it is getting close to Halloween and we wanted to do a scary movie sort of marathon, this is an easy one to jump into horror with. And there are people who don't consider Jaws to be a horror film, but it definitely is. It's a movie about a monster shark.
Also, I predict that both of you are going to be on this podcast in the future because you do often come up with movies that I haven't seen before. So, Val, when was the first time you saw this movie? Do you remember?
I was probably, I definitely a little kid. I remember watching it when I had the flu and was like, what is this? And being super scared the whole way through. So this is, again, a good one for like the month of, Halloween coming up here.
Yeah, for sure. Tom, when was the first time that you saw this movie?
I honestly can't even remember. I don't remember this movie not being in my life. This is one of those movies with the original Star Wars trilogy and the Indiana Jones movies that just kind of got played on repeat in my house.
Yeah, I have a coworker that was like, "How have you never seen Jaws? It's on TV every time I put on my TV."
Especially during the summer.
Yes.
Especially around 4th of July and stuff.
Yes. So, fun fact about Jaws, it was originally set to be a Christmas release film, but because the mechanical shark kept breaking, it pushed the release date back to the summer, which is weird. You would think, of course, Jaws is going to be a summer release, but it wasn't originally going to be.
This movie was almost a disaster in several ways.
Except for the way it was intended to be a disaster film.
Well, not really. I wouldn't call it a disaster film. But originally you were supposed to see the shark all through the script, and they couldn't get the shark to work, so they were like, "Well, fuck it, we're gonna add to the mystery and mystique of the shark by never showing it."
And I think that was the idea of editor Verna Fields, who won an Academy Award for editing and has a building named after her.
Yeah, she was one of the famous old school editors, and she basically, when they put the first cut together, there were just entire scenes that they just didn't quite have. And so she took Spielberg and was like, "Look, this is the coverage. You got to go back and get this, this, and this to make this." Including, I remember reading or seeing in the documentary, I think there's one part in the movie where they had to reshoot it, and it was the scene, I think, where...
Wait, are you spoiling part of the movie before we watch it?
Well, no, it was a scene that involves an underwater shot, and
There's underwater shots?
In a movie about a shark?
Yeah?
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Again, you should have seen this by now. But there's a scene that involves an underwater shot that they had to redo, and the story I heard was they shot it in Verna Fields' pool.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. I talk about that on my tour when we passed the Verna Fields building. So lastly, before we start the movie, the last question I have for you is, do you think Danielle will like this movie? Val?
I think you will like this movie a lot.
Why?
Again, it's very campy, and I think it's campy.
Tom's making noises. It's Val's turn.
How dare you, sir? I think you'll like it, just because there's some great quotes and lines from this movie that everyone knows. And this will be a good thing for you on your tour.
That was a good answer. Yeah. Tom, do you think that I'm going to like this movie?
I think you will, and I disagree. I don't think it's campy. I think it's a campy story. It's a killer shark movie, but it's done with like a big Hollywood budget and actually like really good cast and really good writers and so like it's kind of more than that. There are scenes in this movie that are still to this day creep me out.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Without further ado, Val, Tom, and Danielle are going to watch Jaws for the very first time. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to How Have You Never Seen This? With we just watched Jaws and what's your reaction, Danielle?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yes, it was a really good movie. There were parts of it where I was totally caught off guard. There was a part, so this is where spoilers come in, when the dead sailor with one eye pops out.
Ripped up boat, yeah.
That was really, really intense. But I did really like it. I liked the part where the mom was like, let him go play in the water. It's his birthday. It's like,
And then her looking at the book where they're in the boat and a shark attacks and she's like, get out of the water!
yes.
That's such a mom reaction in that scene.
Yeah, she's trying to be the cool mom, but then she's like, oh, wait, sharks
No, F
are
this.
murderers. It made me nostalgic for the type of men who live in New England
Northeast.
who are just way too confident. Just like,
Quint was way up your alley, wasn't he?
he was way up my alley. He did remind me of some guys I knew back home.
Robert Shaw.
Yeah, no, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, they should put that guy in movies.
Yeah.
He's a
So did any
classic actor.
did any of these guys ever work again, or was this kind of it?
Oh yeah, him, Roy Scheider, and Richard Dreyfuss. I think they were in a few more things other than this.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
What did you think of like the acting and the cast and everything?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought that everybody was really well cast. I thought that I did not think that Richard Dreyfuss's character was going to live. Because I think in modern horror times, and like you're more the expert than me, Tom, but is like nerds don't last that long, right?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah, like, the tough fisherman dude, he had to be sucked into the ocean in one way.
He was almost like a dad figure to the other two, and he had to like teach them how to do what he does. You know what I mean?
How to
Like
shark.
Yeah, how to go sharking.
Yeah, I hear you work in sharks.
Sharks.
I just think it's funny, like, after, spoiler alert, the shark attacks the cage, he goes and hides in some kelp.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know who the hero of this story is. Is it the kelp? Is it the dynamite? Is it the men who are fighting the shark?
I always, watching this, I always feel so bad for Chief Brody, the Roy Scheider character, because he's just so stressed out the whole time, and like nobody will listen to him.
I know. Oh, so when we first started watching this movie, it was like all the mayor and everyone working at the beach was like, we can't shut down the beach. We'll lose too much money. And I was like, wow, this is kind of parallel to what we're experiencing now. And Tom was like, yeah, kind of like a little climate changey.
Yeah. For the people not or they're ignoring a problem for the sake of profit.
A big problem.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, no, we caught the shark. And it also, this is...
Yeah, like, it's not the same shark.
Right. It's...
Like, how could this little shark eat somebody whole?
And there's only one shark in the whole ocean, right? Yeah.
Right. Which is funny because when they kill this shark, they're like, all right, that's it.
That wraps it up.
We're done with sharks. It's funny, too, because, like, I work at Universal, and we do something on the tour that is Jaws-like, and I got references that I've been making. I've been making references. And now I finally get them.
You never understood what the "we're gonna need a bigger boat" was all about, did you?
I got the bigger boat. I didn't get the barrel thing.
Oh yeah, the barrels to keep the shark. Which the reason they did the whole barrel thing was because, like we said originally in the script, you were supposed to see the shark a whole bunch, but they couldn't get the shark to work. So they're like, oh, we'll use these barrel things, and it'll help create more tension because you see the shark, but not really. And
I gotta say, I don't know when the shark stopped working. I don't know the scenes where they wanted to put in the shark, but it seemed to work at the right times.
Well, that's some pretty damn good editing.
That's good editing, and I think partially good luck, too, is like this just, it worked when we really wanted it to work. So, Val, what did you think of the movie?
I like this movie a lot. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Fantastic. Tom, what did you think of the movie?
Oh, I love this movie. This is one of those ones that I kind of watch at least like once a month.
Wow. Once a month? I didn't think he was going to say once a
I
month.
watch this movie all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I was in your cycle.
Do you like the movie?
I liked the movie. I thought it was too long and there weren't enough Golden Girls in it.
Is that how like every episode of this show?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Because when people ask me, they're like, how come you haven't seen any movie? I go, they're too long, and typically there's not enough Golden Girls in them. Occasionally there are. Well, anyways, thank you so much for coming on, Val and Tom.
No problem.
Thank you for being my pilot episode. I don't know if I'm going to make more of these. I don't know if it's ever going to come out, but I really hope so because I had a fun time making them.
Yay!
Yay, and you're both welcome on any other time. Val, what would be the next movie you pick?
Poltergeist.
Good answer. I haven't seen it.
You have not seen Poltergeist?
That's like, yeah, have you not caught on to the concept? I haven't seen like any
We're
movie.
just staying on brand, okay?
Tom, what would be the next movie you show me?
Well, if we were going with horror, I would agree and say Poltergeist. If you're just going with anything, I would say maybe kick over to like Star Wars or something.
Cool. Well, thanks again for being on the show, guys. And I hope you can both be on it in the future. And to my listeners, thank you for listening. I'll come up with something more clever than that.
We should just have them listen to the entire movie as we watch it next time.
Okay, let's
And do commentary during it.
No copyright
let's-
infringement there.
let's sing the little song that goes with the boat. Do 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 do
It says,
do.
show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed.